coming out are amazing. I'm not saying there's not going to be some effort in some areas, but for the most part, everything is looking pretty good. And there's definitely a lot of long-term of issues, and certainly central focus is money, I would say at this time for you. Abundance and finance is very coming up very strongly for the period of August. So it seems to be on your mind. So I'm going to start off just going through some of the generalities, and then we'll go through some of the specifics with the clarifiers. But I also wanted to make mention that for those of you that do watch, remember this is a general read, and not every Cancer is making all of their decisions based on finance, on a Monday or a Wednesday. I say it for all of the signs. So please allow for a little bit of leeway in terms of the time frame, because you're all going through different cycles. You're not all going to be able to a financial, concern in 2 weeks. Some people it might take a little bit longer. However, what I am saying with the read is that you are in the energy of it. So for me, when I see the main cards out here, being the Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, and of course I did pull some off to the side here, which I'll bring forward. What I say in that case is just basically most of the cards that are coming out here for August seem to be minor arcana. So it's not to say that they're not going to be major players at this point. It's just things that are sort of happening behind the scenes is how I would read it. Anything that is a major arcana usually means there's a huge shift of some sort that's coming. However, on that note, the card that did come out that is a main major arcana is the Moon card. So that does tell me there's a lot of processing going on, dealing with the unconscious fears and anything that is certainly going to be, things that would be weighing heavily on you. It's a deeper, it's a still a period of growth that you're going through in this, and you're still in the energy of it. So again, some of you, it may trail out a little further into September and so on. Just depends on, we all work through our energy based on our support systems. What are the resources available to us? How cyclical, like how often are we thinking in a, repetitive way? So it's things like that. So you have to consider all of those factors. You're not all, some of you make decisions a lot faster than others. But as a Cancer general reading, as I said, everything looks pretty good here. So what I want to say is that the energy here, like I said, for the Six of Pentacles does indicate that there is some sense of give and take in a situation. So in the month of August, perhaps you're giving to another or someone else is giving to you. But there is something here that does indicate that there is a little bit of conflict around it, or there's some sense of, feeling as though there's just a little bit of angst around it. Like I said, there's some, because of that Five of Swords, I feel like there's a bit of resistance around it. It's not something that you really want to do, but helping, you're helping others or helping someone else, or someone else is helping you. I get the feeling this is more that you are helping someone else. And the reason why is because all of the cards that come out following that are the Ten of Pentacles. And like, they're cards of legacy, they're cards of long-term money, long-term wealth, money that is still going to be available to you down the road here. And certainly there's cards of balance, justice, and all of that. So that to me indicates that it's you perhaps helping someone else out here in this particular situation. So in the month of August. I still feel like, the Six of Pentacles is still a card of balance here as well. And again, even though the Justice card, further out here as a clarifier still indicates balance, it doesn't feel balanced maybe in this particular moment. So it does suggest that you're kind of rising above a negative feeling, or rising above a negative, resistance of some sort that is helping you to focus on what's important here. And in this instance, it looks like you're being a little bit more generous and forgiving, or, there's more positive influence around that, even though you're rising above something that makes you feel like, you're not really comfortable doing it. And again, it doesn't have to be, there could be conflict around it, but I don't know, I would say most likely not, just because most of the cards that are following here seem to be quite positive. There is one, however, that's further out that does indicate to me that there could be something further along, maybe not quite in energy in the month of August, but further out there might be something here of a resistance, or because there is a Tower moment, I will say that, but they're all fairly positive cards surrounding it. So to me, maybe there is a bit of an issue that arises, but it seems to be quickly kind of reclaimed and moved on past. So again, Six of Pentacles does indicate to me sixes are all about balance and harmony and change and all of that. But like I say, it still indicates that I feel like there's a little bit of again, focus is completely on money for the most part here. I'm not saying that there isn't some cards here that kind of suggest a long-term commitment, but we'll go over that here in a second. For the most part, like I said, there is more take in a situation. This could be around a connection because there are cards out here that do speak to long-term commitment. Could be in a father figure, could be water sign, but the Taurus energy is here, and also the Queen of Pentacles. Those ones that I pulled out that are more along the lines of the general energy overall that's going on here, but we'll just stay with the main cards, and then I'll get into those here in a minute. So Six of Pentacles, like I said, does indicate that there is some kind of generosity or a giving of some sort. Again, it's a shift with the five, but with that Five of Swords. So I feel like you might be a little reluctant in doing so, but it still indicates that it's moving in the right direction. So you're opening yourself up to, balance things out in some way. So it's a charitable act that's coming in here. In terms of like, that's just the general energy, but in terms of if we were to take this into a really sort of aspect, although again, I primarily feel this particular person or whoever this group of people that I'm reading for seems to be more financially geared. But in terms of a romantic sort of scenario here, I would say that this is more along the lines of normally this would be feeling comfort or support for one another and that kind of thing, and tokens of affection sort of exchanged. But because it's down there with the Five of Swords, to me it does indicate that there's a little bit of resistance around that or a holding back. So again, Five of Swords does indicate there is reluctance. Maybe one person is a little bit more self-centered, and again, maybe there's more domination over one person. And this doesn't have to be relating around a romantic situation, could be just a really significant connection to you, but definitely it sort of weighs heavy on, one person sort of taking advantage of another, or it feels like that, whether that's actually the case or not. It feels like somebody's not willing to compromise or play their role or do their part in something. So again, if we were concerned, in regards to the financial aspect, it just feels like, you are giving of yourself, but it's kind of one-sided in some way. Now, the other part of it is too, like I said, all the cards primarily are more positive though. So I want to say that this still looks to be more of a, an ambitious kind of a read. There's a lot of things in progress here. I feel like what you're doing here with that Six of Pentacles as well is that it's more you're healing through exchange in some way. So it feels like whatever you're doing pass along, the generosity, it's healing you, it's healing the situation, it's somehow balancing things out because again, it is still, cards of supporting one in some way, even though again feels like it's a little bit unbalanced, but it's still for the most part for the greater good. Maybe before I kind of move on past that one, the other part of it is too, it seems there's very strong energy here as well. So I want to say that this could be around somebody you consider to be family or someone that's very close to you, either way, or that you do consider family. But again, doesn't have to be specific to that, but it does seem to be Hierophant came out here. So it's somebody you're very connected to long term for sure. Doesn't feel like this is any kind of new connection for whoever this resonates for. Like I said, Six of Pentacles is still in around that area of reciprocity, but I would still say that it feels good to do it right now anyway, even though, again, there's a little bit of reluctance, but it still feels like it's the right thing to do in this situation. Okay, so I was trying to see if there's any more of a feel off of that, but anyway, we'll move on maybe from that, and if I do get something, I'll kind of come back to it. But for the most part, like I said, all the cards are still showing really positive direction for you. Now, the only card that did come out, like I said, that was more of a major arcana, was the Moon card. So there's definitely some work in progress here on the emotional front. And very strong, Cancer yourself coming through in the read. But because there is so much energy here around give and take and reciprocity, it feels like there's more overall, like somebody's really unselfish, and I feel like that's a positive because it's healing your situation. Like I said, it feels like there's resources available to you in some way, in a positive way. It doesn't have to be finances, but it's whatever you consider to be a resource, and that seems to be helping to, helping to create a better atmosphere or whatever. Okay, anyway, let's just move on past that one because I think I pretty much got all I can out of that. So the next card out is the Ten of Wands. Now, you're still in the energy of overburden. And again, this could be, it feels like emotional overburden because it is coming out with the Eight of Cups. So it feels like you're almost in the end cycle of this, though. So really, this is trace amounts. You've done a lot of work on yourself in a particular situation. Um, and again, Taurus energy is here that's strong. So with the water signs. But primarily, it feels like there's a lot that's been done in regards to your situation. Like internally. Like I said, the Ten of Wands does indicate there's been huge hardship, a lot of things that you were working through that kind of burned you out. You're at that tail end of it. You're ready for a shift here. And there's two tens in this reading as well, which does indicate that there is a major shift. And of course, the Tower did come out here as well. So that also indicates that you're going through something quite significant here that is just about to level you up, basically, is what I'm saying there. Because the Ten of Wands is, struggling to manage your time, struggling to get, pull everything together, responsibilities, or trying to figure out your life. It's a struggle. It's a card of struggle. It's a card of overwhelm. It feels like, especially too when it's around the Eight of Cups here, it feels like there's been a lot of emotional angst around it. So in terms of a career, it does indicate that you could have been doing a lot of overwork or a loss of focus, that kind of thing. But it also indicates with all the other cards, things will come together. In terms of a relationship, and again, doesn't have to be love, romance. It can be, just a very significant person in your life. It does indicate that, there's been too much either projections or, going on. There's been a lot as far as there's been a lot of a real, because the moon card is not full light. It does indicate that there's been things that you are slowly coming to terms with, that have been maybe surprising in some way, and it's been a burden on you. But at the same token, it's opened things at a new level, and that's where the possibilities are. So again, it still feels like you're kind of in that energy of, trying to prioritize things for yourself right now, because it feels like there's been too many priorities, emotionally overdrawn in some way, and you are starting to turn your back on the things that don't sort of move you forward. I feel like you're fairly strong in this period, though, in August. But again, if because this can be a card in some ways, sometimes it's avoiding responsibilities or doing the extreme. So it's one extreme or the other, but either way, it's too much of something that's occurring there. But again, when we've got this, it's right next to the steps. So I feel like, again, especially with that first combination with the Six of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, I mean, that to me is you rising to the challenge to meet something where you're, there's more of a forgiving, there's more of a generosity, there's more of a, so it suggests to me that there's overall a positive impact that's coming in the month of August. When we get to the Ten of Wands, and again, it's still multiple tens, so it does indicate that there's a big shift of some sort that's taking place here. And it seems to be affecting two areas of your life. It seems to be around your your financial front, as well as things that you were burdened by. That seems to be clearing up to some extent. So wherever your physicality was, like wherever you were overly challenged physically, and again, I am seeing, the emotional card out here, and the moon seems to be quite relevant. I feel like that is where you're starting to resolve the issues, because it's a natural end. It's not something that, like a tower can be more of an abrupt thing depending on the cards around it. But in this particular instance, it's like it's a natural end and things are moving to the next level. So that's the end of, these two areas almost at once, in lieu of the next level. And that means new challenges. Don't get me wrong. It's like we're not here. Everything is a constant challenge. Everything, it's like it's a game. It's a constant game, and you have to keep leveling it up, keep, and as you level up, it is the wisdoms that you've learned to be able to use that into the next level. Because if it was highly challenging in this area on the lower level because you weren't prepared for it, it means you're going to have the same sort of thing going on in the next level, but there will be some accolades or some good things that go with it. It's just you're able to hang on to them. You're going to have to level it up to hang on to them. So it's kind of that sort of that kind of thing. But like I said, I mean, the fact that we've got 2 10s here is pretty incredible. Now, the thing about a 10 is usually when I see like a big major arcana out here, that means that you have successfully completed the cycle. You're currently still in some of this residual energy here. So you're almost through it though, and it's almost to, to the other side of things. But like I said, I mean, the 10s do indicate a transition, and that transition is going to renew you because it's going to make you feel more complete. And it does feel like there's going to be a mastery of sort here because you're preparing for the next level, the next new thing. The workload emotionally, I feel, has been quite heavy for you. It's been a lot of pressure that's gone on with it emotionally, I would say, more specific, although again, can be other things as well. But for the most part, for whoever this resonates for, that's what I see. And of course, when you get to the 10 of Wands and that overexertion, it does mean that you have found a way to set some boundaries around things. You can, learn to complete things instead of doing it all, or instead of taking on that heavy load of that burden of emotional, overreactivity. It's almost like you're better able to read emotions. You're better able to deal with your own emotions. You're not getting stuck by your own emotions as much. This would be seeing a sequence, right? Like you're being able to see something and evolve through it rather than being stuck by it. So you're stepping back from whatever it is that you're emotionally feeling, and you're better able to navigate it because you're actually saying, is this true? Is it true in the moment? And if I continue to believe that it's true, how do I act differently if I don't believe that to be true? So it's almost like you're stepping back to sort of see things in the way of, I don't know if that made any sense, but you're stepping back to sort of, sorry guys, it's distracting me out there. I don't know if you can hear that siren, but it's almost like you feel, sorry, I'll give that a second to pass here. But anyway, it just feels like, your emotions may have been the thing that was overwhelming. But when you start to look at the question, asking yourself the right questions, then you find the right answers. So the right questions would be things like, you know, is this emotion allowing me to move forward, or am I just staying stuck and ruminating? So that's just like basic example, but it does indicate that there is some wisdom here, and there has been some kind of possible crisis for you to have gone through all of this. So emotional crisis of sorts, I would say. But you are starting to move forward in this energy, and it's almost complete. So you can actually head out, knowing that you now know how to break down some of your own barriers. You now know how to set some boundaries. You now are in that where you can focus on the priorities versus trying to overwhelm yourself by figuring everything out in one go. Okay, so then when we get to, like I said, there's the Eight of Cups. Again, it's just a clarifier, so it's not the main energy out here. But I still feel like that is kind of that energy of, like, you're walking away, you're kind of discontented with all of this energy, with that overwhelm, and so you're pushing past it now. Like it's just you're leaving the past behind. And again, it's natural conclusion. Lots of cards indicating this has been a natural conclusion. So I don't feel like you have to do in particular, because you're starting to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So again, you're no longer in this energy of, being stuck and trapped, because you've completed that phase of life in some way. There's new energies come in here. So you're starting to feel like that you're no longer in that fork in the road sort of feeling, where you're completely dissatisfied, emotionally overextended, drained, tired, all of that. You're actually able to let go of some of that, of this new energy, which is helping you to move forward. And again, I feel like that would be more, because enabled to do that, you actually have to be more in line with your own beliefs systems. So I'm going to move this over a little bit so we get both. Okay. So I don't know if that's fully in view, but once you're in alignment with your own belief systems, that's when you start to really know who you are, and it's easier to commit to, creating boundaries. Not you don't have to entertain every facet of your emotions at one time. That's when you end up with the Nine of Swords, where there's an overwhelm of that in that crisis moment. And I feel like you're starting to be able to regulate your emotion better, all over the place here. And especially too, because I see new energy. Something new has come in here that's really helping to change things around. Now, and actually, not only that, I should have mentioned you also had the Nine of Cups and abundance coming out here. So there's definitely something that's surrounding you that is making you feel like you are a lot more in control of your world in some way. There's a lot more financial security here. There is a lot of family dynamics present here, and it definitely is about long-term wealth, and it's the beginning of that starting up here. So you're already in the energy. There's already something that has come through here for resonates for. Again, it might be just a tad further out for some of you, but you're already in that energy because the money cards are all coming out here. Now the Ten of Pentacles again it also speaks to, um, again, this is the new energy I see. So again, this could be job security for some of you. Maybe there's some kind of, but it doesn't feel like a new job or anything. Like this feels like more established energy, something that's already been in the making. So maybe for some of you, maybe there's been something growth in an investment or something like that. But either way, if you're pursuing a dream, that will be increasing, your chances for long-term wealth. But whatever it is, you're already established in this energy. This is already happening. Again, if you are in that energy as well of, because I see the scales of justice, if there is something that isn't around a court situation, that would be in your favor. If there's something contractual, that would be in your favor. I feel like you're really concentrating more on, again, material gain, material success, things that you can do with your money. That seems to be a real, because there's some kind of a windfall of money of some sort that's come through. And again, there is energy here. The Justice card is still a little further out. You're not fully in it, but it does indicate that there is something here that, maybe documents are still in the preparation or still something to be worked out around that. But it's definitely a strong position. So it's kind of that card of being impartial around a situation of family or money, but it's also speaking to you being in a strong position, because it's a balanced decision, it's a balanced place, it's a balanced, balanced in your connections, even more so around family. And it definitely still, this is the Justice cards being Libra energy here as well. But it definitely feels like you're just, you're not having to compromise. It just feels like everything is falling into place in some way. I feel like you've learned quite a bit. Like I said, you're still doing some of those challenging, areas of your life. You're still in that trying to bring some balance back to the emotional front, but most of it has really been worked through. And then you're going to be able to concentrate on this new energy, which does seem to be an indicator of wealth or money or establishing something here again around family or connection to, long-term legacy money. So, able for that to happen, that means you already are in this space of, you're trying to really, like I said, it feels like you're really concentrating on the future, your future relationships, your future connections, things around family, like I say, is highlighted here as well. Um, but it definitely feels like it's really good energy. And the other part of it is here too, because maybe you could be seeking some kind of legal advice around money for some of you, but this could also indicate inheritance or something that's come through. But either way, it's still allowing you, a lot of things that are going to open up. This, I feel, is the new energy. And I still feel this combination, strong family values here. Um, yeah. Hey, actually, maybe I'll go this direction here. Okay, so now we're into that energy of. Now, I did pull quite a few cards on clarifiers. Maybe I'll just pull this over here because these ones are a little bit more involved. Okay, so when we get to the moon card, and again, this is the only one I would say is your main, this is the major arcana that did come out for you. So this is still the energy that you're sitting in. The moon card does deal with a lot of emotional depth. It does indicate that there is still some things to kind of work through. Some of the unconscious things are still being, it's surfacing. Things are surfacing. Hi, Devancha. Oh, that's really good. Sorry, I was just reading your comment that my prediction came true. You told me there is something coming in, PhD, and you got a stipend. That is excellent. You're very welcome. And as for advice for life, but I want to finish this one here for Cancer right off, just to kind of, otherwise I get distracted and I kind of lose my train of thought. But again, but we will for sure. We'll do some questions here at the end, which I have about 7 more cards to kind of get through, or something where they're about. Okay, so for Cancer again, the Moon card is still indicating that there is something here that's kind of unconsciously kind of plaguing you a little bit. So it's a time of reflection. You're still kind of in that emotional space here. So it's like you're getting little snippets of something, but I feel like this is still going to be something you work through a little bit longer. It's following your intuition, all of those things, and it's almost getting to know your own depth, getting to know your own mysteries. You're actually starting to realize a part of yourself uh, that is one of complexity. So I feel like I said, that's just a really positive, it's still going in the right direction, even though you're feeling, maybe a little bit still along the line of, it feels like you still have some fears that you have to face. But again, I mean, that is the whole point of life. It's face the fear, face the next fear, face the next fear, face the next fear. For sure, it is all, going to be a little bit unclear until we do that breakthrough and get through that phase. But right now, I feel like you're in that space of using logic and reasoning and your intuition as well in a very balanced way to help you give you the insights to kind of move through these phases. And I feel like you're coping with the issues better right now in this period. Um, this can indicate sometimes that they're, I'm not even going to say that because I don't even, just because of the combination with the Knight. I feel like this is still really positive what's coming in here. So when I see the Knight of Cups, like I said, this can be, it's an energy of movement for sure, and it's coming in pretty quick. If this is thing in regards to a relationship, I would say this is an extension or an offer. It's some kind of rapid development emotionally. I would say more so in term for, again, whoever I'm reading this for. This seems to be more in terms of more positivity for you. Like I said, rapid development emotionally, where you're starting to understand things a lot better, and it feels like you're able to tune things out that don't matter or that aren't a part of your. They say, what is it? Anthony Robbins makes a really good point. He says you focus on outcomes. He says you choose what it is that you want to do, and you focus on the outcomes. You don't let your emotions hold you up, because your fears are always going to block you and say, oh, that's unsafe, don't do it. But when you actually focus on the outcomes, meaning if you want a car, you do everything you can in the world to get the car. Think of point A, B, C, D, and you just kind of create a map for yourself. And it's the same thing for other things in your life. If you want healthy relationships, you always have to start with yourself first. You make yourself, if you can give to yourself and do things in a healthy way, then that opens you up to choose the right relationships. If you're waiting for somebody else to fill that void, you're less likely to get a healthy relationship because you don't even know what you want. So it's things like that is what I would say you're kind of coming to terms with. So again, as Anthony Robbins says, try to choose. You want to do out. You choose what it is that you want spiritually. You choose what it is that you want emotionally to experience, and you can't control the outcome of somebody else, but you can control what it is that you want to experience. If you want to, go on a trip, you make to arrive at that destination. It's no different than choosing an outcome for your life about what it is that you're looking for. Now, it's not to say you have to have everything perfect, but it definitely feels like you would want to choose things where you feel it's open to or negotiable or can compromise if you're having to involve yourself with someone else that way. But either way, the moon card with that Knight of Cups does indicate some kind of, again, new kind of experience in the month of August that is starting to change your beliefs about what you think is possible. Oh, and you did, Devasha. That's excellent. You had a celebration with friends too. You are so sweet. That's great. But yeah, and so Cancer, I do feel like you are, starting to approach responsibilities differently. And I feel like you're very intuitive. Like I said, you're finding the right balance between your intuition as well as your logic. And again, because that Knight of Cups has come up here, it's a rapid development emotionally, and that is very healthy for you at this time. Now, we're also, the only other thing I'm going to say here is the tower did come up here. So now the thing about the tower is I'm not really seeing anything around it that indicates anything negative. So what I see here, oh, you made a decision to move forward independently. Good for you, Devansha. Like I say, I mean, yeah, I will answer your question just at the very end for sure. So when we get to the tower, like I said, the tower usually indicates that there's something kind of upsetting a bit of chaos, basically. So a little bit of confusion or something that might be added to the mix here. But I feel like you've made some huge progress emotionally. And the tower to me, especially with all the other cards following, seems to be around, it's like an epiphany almost. It's like you're almost surprising yourself about this transition. It's almost like whatever the challenges were and this transformation, this upheaval or this crisis, this of something that's come through here for you. And maybe this is a connect, somebody's contacting you that has surprised you. For some reason, it feels like you're just really able to handle yourself really well. Said because you're encouraging, you're being encouraged to step forward, because that King of Cups is, you've got a lot of that Cups energy as well here. Like it, just all the cards are really balanced between the Pentacles and the residual of the Wands. You're moving out of that. So it just feels like all of the stuff that's starting to balance here is more along your finances and your emotional front. A lot of cards of depth and really being able to deal with. You're in the energy of the King of Cups, or you could, for some of you, be dealing with a father figure here as well. But that King of Cups energy does indicate mastering one's emotions. And I feel like that's what the Tower is coming through. Oh, thank you. I'm glad my guidance helped a lot. I'm somebody who overanalyzes every death too, for sure. So I feel like I have something to contribute. I think we all do, actually. Oh, thank you. And I will definitely answer your question. I really that, Devansha. I appreciate that donation. So yeah, we get to the King of Cups. Like I said, this is that card of being more in control of your emotions, and not cutting yourself off either. This is, being able to deal with. So again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy here also. But I just feel like you're in that stage of like you've just moved to the next level and it's a big surprise. So, like I said, there's something here that really tells me you are at a place now where your feelings are, you're still working through some aspect, but I feel like overall, you know, I mean, maybe you're even able to get into some kind of a professionals around counseling or psychology or some kind of nurturing sort of aspect, some kind of profession or something here, possibly for some of you that might be drawn to that. And maybe that's kind of an epiphany moment for some. But either way, that tower indicates, again, that could where it's headed with this surprise. But there's also an element here that speaks to something surprises you in terms of a father figure. But again, it could be something around work. But there's something that here that still is planting a seed where things are more cooperative. It's just very balanced energy. It's like home is starting to flourish. It's like everything is. You've got this new energy that's helping you to kind of leap out of bed. I'm glad you feel much more positive, Devansha. There are elements for sure, but we always, like I said, for every challenge, there will be a balance of some sort over the long haul. But like I say, Cancer, you are definitely in a space where you're just not, I don't feel like you're feeling uncertain, right? You're in more of a leadership role, more in control of your world, I would say. Um, Yeah. And I mean, the only other thing I will say is that because the card goes from a Knight of Cups, this could be a younger energy where there could have been some kind of upset with a father figure. But again, but it feels like there's still a strong working together. So I don't feel like it's a negative card in any way because, like I said, the Eight of Pentacles still indicates that, everything's kind of, it might be a dramatic change of some sort, like I said, in the month of August, but everything is falling into place. Like I said, you even had the Knight of Cups there, so it's about kind of following creative pursuit here as well for some of you. But lots of really good energy here. And again, even with that combination, like I said, the King of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles, it suggests that you are starting to look at your skill set. And I feel like you are in the period, in this process right now of trying to figure out, you're learning new skills, but you're also seeking new opportunities. You're expanding your horizons in some way here, but you're still working on it. You're not quite in this energy fully yet, but it definitely feels as though you're encouraged to. Um, work on those skill sets because there's a lot of dedication, a lot of focus that's coming through here, especially when I of Pentacles. It's just like your answers are very close to home, is what I would say there as well. Just because of the intuition, the depth of your, thoughts, and maybe some of you are journaling and writing, but there's definitely something here about getting your feelings because that is benefiting you. So, and it's almost like you've learned how to, um, how do I say, I don't want to say segment, but, learning how to put, apply the right frame of mind around a circumstance instead of rehashing, or there's growth, right? So this is cards of growth and accomplishment, and some kind of gestation of other things as well. So there's ideas percolating here, and you will keep moving, you will continue to keep moving because of all the cards here. But again, super grounded energy, definitely a long-term view here, very sustainable returns, and definitely something here about preparing. And I feel like you really stop and think and assess and any progress because there's just so much discipline here, and definitely um, growth and nurturing. Like I said, it just feels like the work that you're going to put into things is going to be very established energy. It's not something, because you're actually figuring out ways to plant different um, solid grounded ideas. And I feel like that's where it's kind of unfolding from the inside out. It's that kind of energy here. So the other part here too, because again, we did have that justice and that Ten of Pentacles. Like I said, it just feels like a lot of the energy is around you analyzing things, and really family bonds, very important here. Lots of family values, lots of long-term goals. Like I said, it's super grounded energy all around. Now, the other part here, now I know I said the moon was kind of your main energy out. So I did want to just go back on that one because the moon is a card of reflection, like I said, but it's also the big energy that was out for you. So I would say, and again, I did indicate that I felt you were still working through some processes there with that moon card. But I definitely feel like there's just a little bit more to it because we had the tower underneath that moon. So I would still say that there's something here that is going to be um, like a sudden change of some sort. I don't see you headed out anywhere specifically, but there's just something of a shift in a positive way that's going to kind of surprise you. Um, like I said, the tower moment came in under the emotional part of things. So it's almost like it's providing you with some kind of um, maybe drama that gets a resolution. It's something kind of like that. It feels like, again, it's a sudden change, but it's almost like it builds your confidence in some way here. So even in terms of a relationship, because we did still have the Knight of Cups in there. So if there is a relationship aspect here as well, there's something here about you kind of leveling up. It's a surprise, still very stable. It doesn't throw you off. There's nothing that's going to change that, I see anything dramatic there. It's almost like it kind of spices things up a little bit where things were once boring. You are now introducing some new element in this period. You may not be fully in the yet, but you're pretty close to it, because that Knight of Cups is soon followed by that Tower. So I would say there's something there that's kind of yet to be revealed. Like I said, I just feel like something pretty interesting is about to happen for you, and it's going to catch you off guard, but in a positive way. Like I said, the moon card is of real depth, real emotion, lots of emotion here, and there is that surprising positive thing that comes through that I think you weren't expecting. Um, so it'd be interesting to find out what that is for whoever that resonates for. But anyway, so I wanted to also pull through some of the other cards that were along the side here. Now, the card that came up following all of these was the Empress. Pull that over to the side here. Okay, so these were the 4 cards that came out. Now, the Empress, of course, we all know to be a card of abundance, can be dealing with a mother figure and all of that. But followed by that was the Happiness card. Like, oh my gosh, does it get any better than that? Like, all the cards you have here, your life is changing in a very abundant way. Doesn't mean there won't be any problems. There definitely will be. That comes with the territory, especially when all this abundance is around. You're going to have people all over you for for things. So I just want you to know that's why you've learned about the boundaries and learned about hiding your emotions and, that kind of thing. Not hiding your emotions. I shouldn't say that. You're processing your emotions well, better, and you know now what you're looking at because you're following your intuition. So you're going to know when something's going off center. But either way, this card of Empress does indicate, obviously there's growth in your finances, there's gains in some way. I feel like your projects are starting to, whatever you're thinking about, and you're still in a bit of a thinking phase here, but I feel like you're ready for something here that because you've healed something, something has healed you, and it's made you feel as though you're a lot more whole. There's wisdom that comes with that depth. And again, had the Knight of Cups there, so that does indicate that could be again, mother figure here as well for some of you, where, and you did have a father figure there as well, but positive, all positive. And so it's nurturing and caring for our relationships, especially when we get to that Empress energy. But it's also about self development and realizing that you're more whole and not separate from things. And it's almost like you're more connected here. So you have a level of multiplicity, a level of emotional depth, a lot of intuition. This is actually even putting you in a space of gaining things in the long term that deal with teaching, because there's something here about your just the way that you're moving is so solid that this is going to put you in a really positive place to help others as well. But and so that Nine of Cups energy is wish fulfillment. So I feel like you are getting some kind of abundance in this space. Nine of Cups energy definitely speaks to everything kind of moving in your favor on every front, every front. And some of it is even surprising you, actually. I think you're surprised that maybe everything kind of turned around in some way here. So, like I said, the Nine of Cups does still indicate that there is something up ahead here of a fulfillment. It is the clarifying energy. So, you may not see it just yet, but there is something that's going to be a lot more positive coming in here, in addition to what you're already going through. So, this is the main energy out. Something around mother figure, could be also more abundance coming in, but it definitely does indicate fulfillment, pleasure, all good things, wishes coming true on, emotional fronts, financial fronts. Like, everything is just developing your potential. There's so much potential in this, even in terms of self-development, so much potential in this area. It's like you're really connecting more so to yourself, and things are writing itself because of that. I still feel like you're in a laid back sort of position here with that Four Swords energy, because you've attracted so much, pleasure and accomplishment here. It just feels like this is rewards of dedicated to the growth that you put yourself through. So now you're at a point of attraction. So with that Four of Swords, like I said, it's still kind of a stepping back energy. It's not, driven, and anything like that. It feels like you're more in a relaxed space. So you're withdrawing from all activity at this point. I feel like you're kind of a little bit of a lone wolf, but I mean, it's in the right direction. It's giving you the chance to pull away from everything. And sometimes the universe has a funny way of pulling our friends away or things away from us when we need to do the work that's very important, that is deep. We need to figure out ourselves and our life first. We don't need more distractions. So it's almost that kind of thing. So it's almost like it's a deliberate pause for you to examine how to go forward, because there's some form of retreat that's required at this time, to make space for that new cycle of growth and learning that you are kind of moving into here. So it's a silent recovery, is what I would say there. As far as, like I said, the Four Swords energy does still speak to kind of drawing, as I said, from activity, recharging yourself, and just kind of taking advantage of the small things, because you're recovering from battles, of the past here. And, there's likely going to be, again, battles, of course, for the future. You have to draw on that energy and be wise and know what you learned well enough that you can, face the enemy again, because there is good, that enemy will reappear. All of those insecurities or the things that you went through, they will reappear. It's how much did you actually learn and, participate in your own learning, so that you can get past it faster. Because you'll find that very successful people make decisions faster, not chaotically faster. What I mean by that is they'll stop, they'll reflect, they'll pause, weigh the pros and cons, and then they make a decision. But other people, if there's a lot of emotional involvement, they have to talk themselves down, they talk to, a whole bunch of other people. There's a lot more to get them back to center. And so it's hard to move on. So this is you taking time for yourself. Again, it's because you're trying to understand some of the things that you need to wrap up, feelings that you're not quite fully certain of yet, because you're mostly through it for the most part, like I said, but you just want to make sure you're fully rested before you kind of go out and conquer things again. So in terms of, like I said, spirituality and self development and all of that, I feel like your inner state is very important for you to be able to move forward on. So again, I don't see ruminating. I just feel like you are in a space of being okay, just kind of stepping back from things right now. Last three cards out here, guys. And then I do some questions. Yeah, so just taking time for you. So the next cards out were Two of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Hierophant. And again, this is like the main energy out. So they're not clarifiers. I just kind of pulled them all together. So it feels like you're advancing forward with your resources, and I feel like there's a lot of commitment on your part. For some of you, this could be a position up ahead that might be in the works, like a job that's in consideration, because you're moving toward it. Two is could be partnering up with somebody make a decision to go forward here, because that's usually what the twos are all about. I don't see strong cards here though about I do feel a lot of how do I say, corporate energy for sure is still here. So in terms of legalities, there is a little element of that for some of you here, because the Hierophant, again, it's not the main energy with the Justice card, but again, the Hierophant that's out here does indicate that there is still something here where there's a lot of structure that's very important for you at this time. You really need to lay out a plan, your 2-year plan, 5-year plan, your 10-year plan. Where do you want to see yourself? Remember what I said about the Anthony Robbins things about choosing outcomes. You don't want to just choose a path. You want to choose an outcome and just keep going toward it. Lay a map. And it doesn't matter if you fail and fail and fail and fail, because the point is, if you want it, you're still going to go after it. It's like if you couldn't get the car that you wanted, you wouldn't say, well, I'm never driving again. You'd go out and find another car, because you need it for different things to move ahead and feel growth and feel like you're making progress in life and feel successful, all of that. So, you just keep, it doesn't matter if you fail. And of course, there's going to be obstacles of people always in the way. That's standard, because we're all free thinkers and we're all very different from one another. So like I said, I feel like you're going to follow your intuition, all of that too. So it's good. You're really in an empowering place. Like I said, you're starting to see through the illusion and really able to figure out a lot about emotions. And I feel like that makes you understand people's pain. Doesn't mean you have to take on their pain or try to fix their world, but it does mean when you understand where somebody's coming from, it makes it easier to sort of deal with them and give them space to, you know, work through their own stuff, not on you or through you or with you, but you have an understanding of a situation. You can step back, and so you're not the object of their attack. But anyway, when we get to the Hierophant, there's student teacher sort of energy here. It does still indicate that there is strong commitment of some sort here. Again, Queen of Pentacles could be somebody else that's coming in here or just up ahead. But there's also just a really good energy here of traditional values being at play. And again, there's so much grounded energy here. You are strongly, tradition is strong to you. It's very important. And I feel like it's really important for you to master things just because of all the cards that are coming out. These are all cards of long-standing commitment, kind of energy. Even professional, sort of, either you're dealing with professionals or you are wanting to become the professional, because it's very focused, centered, traditional, organized kind of energy. And these are people that don't compromise their integrity. They know what they want, they know how they want it to look, and so they really do stable, down to earth strategies and moves to get there. So they follow the rules, and they feel like, and it just feels like the future is bright because they're very balanced in their emotions and in their thought patterns. They're not bouncing around. There's a lot of conventional beliefs and wisdom that goes with all of these cards. So again, lastly, I just want to say that this energy all around for you is very empowering. It feels like you are balanced, finally getting balanced, and there's a lot of connection here. So to yourself and to the universe, I just feel like you're making all the right steps here. That's very, very good energy. All right, so what do we have here? Devansha. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry you were feeling depressed before. I know it definitely, life is a challenge. I don't discount that for sure. But I also feel too that, it's a game. It's a big game. I'm not saying that everything is just take it in a trite way. What I mean by that is when you see the things that you have to challenge, and some of it is so petty, you start to realize it's just a game. Just keep stepping one foot in front of the other. Okay, so what's coming towards you in the near future? Okay, so what's coming towards Devansha in the near future doing her PhD? What's coming, and right now in single, and right in love life? What's coming toward Devansha in the near future? PhD and love life. Okay, well, there's an unknown element still propping up here. Strength card. Something from the past. All right, so let's clarify a few of these just to sort of see where that's going. Okay, what is the High Priestess? What is the Strength card? What is this thing from the past? What is the thing from the past? What is this thing from the past? And the Two of Pentacles. Why the Sun? Why the Nine of Swords? Okay, all right. Well, what I see here, and I should mention too, I'll also do an advice card at the end, a couple of cards just after I finish Devansha here. So, okay, Devansha, I'm going to pull these so you can see all of them kind of at a time. Well, no, at one time. I always have a small little space here, so. Okay. Start with this one here. Actually, maybe I can put two up there. Okay, so just in terms of your PhD, I definitely feel like there's going to be a job offer here. It's still hidden. It's not in full view. It definitely feels like it is not too far off, though. Um, I don't even know if it's going to be that long at all, actually. Almost like you're getting some kind of communication. I don't know if you've already put the feelers out or whatever here, but because I'm seeing two things, I don't know if it's two offers, but it definitely feels like one's a very grounded offer. The other one looks like it is something you just really would love to do, that you're really passionate about. So, like I said, the fact that we've got the high priestess out, it does indicate there's something still amiss. Like there's still something that has yet to be revealed. So, and I believe that that happens for a reason. So it means that nothing's quite lined up. Let's say somebody is. I'm just going to use a lame example, but this is how I read. Anyway, how I roll. So, so with the sorry. So with the high priestess, for example, if somebody hasn't left the position yet, they can't offer it to you. So it's something that is still yet to be revealed. But I do feel like it is going to surprise you nonetheless, because the high priestess is, realizing that it's clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. That's an offer. That is something that is going to be a promise of some really good money. But I also see a second offer here with the Ace of Wands. And that feels like it is something you would really enjoy to do. So it's almost like there's two things I feel that are kind of up ahead for you. It's not just one option. But again, even when we get to you don't have like the full picture yet to sort of make a decision, but I feel like something will reveal itself here not too far off. You're in the energy of it, but it'll reveal in time. But it's just not quite visible yet. So you're gonna have to follow a little bit of your intuition on this one. Just focus on, what you do know. But I still feel like there's two options here still in the sorry, two options that are still in the mix here. Um, if I'm just trying to figure out one more thing here, because as far as even on the love front here, like I almost still feel like there's something that is still from the past. It's like a past connection. That it's not going away. That card keeps coming out consistently. I remember with yours. But like I said, it's not going away. There's something here around somebody from the past that's relevant. So I'm going to say that that one might yet be revealed. But in terms of your PhD, I think you've got two offers coming up here pretty soon. You're not quite in the full energy of it yet, but you're not that far off of it. Yeah, but there's something here also with that love energy, the person from the past. It kind of almost like there's a juggling of a situation there. I'm not really quite sure what that one just is yet, but yeah, I think there's going to be two PhD offers, because even though you're not fully in that energy yet, I still feel it is two PhD offers. One that is going to be more about the money, and the other one is going to be more about something you just really wanted to do. You've always wanted to do. It's really about the money so much, but it is certainly, both good options, right? One is offering more security than the other one, but it definitely offers, wealth that would accumulate. It's a bright future when you're going in that direction. But again, the other one is more satisfying in a different kind of way. But I feel like you've got two offers that are coming. It's not quite, you're not quite in the energy of it yet, but you will be seeing that really soon. It feels like it's closer than you think it is. Because again, the one energy is really practical, down to earth, financially rewarding with the Ace of Pentacles. And it's again really going to open things up. So you have a long-term prosperity with that one. But the other one, like I said, that one is more along the lines of, I would just really enjoy. I would enjoy to do it. I don't know that it's going to pay as well as the other one, but it feels like it's something that you would thoroughly enjoy to do. So I guess it depends on what it is you're really looking for there, because the Ace of Wands again is, kind of doing things your own way, having more control over the situation, item in a particular job. It's being able to act on something, that you believe in. You know what I mean? It feels like you have it just feels like you have more freedom with the one, and the other one is just a little bit more practical. But it's either way, I feel like you have a choice here. And that could also be why the Two of Pentacles kind of sort of came out here before, but I think that one's more around the love front, really. But again, I feel like you'll have two options. One, you're going to have a lot more freedom, more inspiration, a lot of, it's something that you've always wanted to do. You kind of get to be your own boss or be independent in some way. And then the other one feels like it's more formalized. It's gain that's going to be a lot more practical, probably with a lot more restriction, but you have the choice of both. Literally, you have a choice of two. um, I don't know that it's appearing in your life just yet, but you will get that offer pretty soon. And it looks like the first one that will come out will be the one that's around, um, really good money. That one is going to be the one that presents itself first. And then the other one where you have a lot more freedom, where you can be a little more inventive or create plans, more independent thinking, that kind of thing. That job will come out a little bit later. But I think there's at least two on the table here for you. Um, the other thing too was, again, the strength card is you gotta just kind of wait it out a little bit longer, because as I said, it's not you're not fully in that energy yet. But again, still just to kind of go back to like the love cards here, in terms of your romance, it's not going away. It's not going away. I still feel like there is someone here for sure from your past that you've known for some time. This person's still there. They're not It's not going away. That Six of Cups energy tells me you've known this person for a while, through childhood. It does indicate that there is still, I'm not even seeing the Fool card to say that this is, oh, okay, resonating, like firstly completing PhD degree, then job. Yeah, definitely. But like I said, I still feel like there's something here around somebody that's still from the childhood, from your family, or somebody you consider family, or someone you've had a long-term connection with, somebody from the past, for sure. That person is still here. They're still coming in. So I don't know who this is, but it is somebody that it's like, to me, it's like a rekindling love affair. Yeah, from childhood. It's either rekindling of a love affair or somebody from the past, but they're still here. You're still in this nostalgia space. You know this person for sure. You know this person. Again, could be childhood friend, but this person is still a part of your, romantic connection. And it still feels like it's a positive one. I don't know who it is, but they're not gone. And again, it shows up as a coupleship, or it shows up as, some kind of partnership. Again, this union could very well be toward marriage, although there's still some kind of emotional balance that's a little bit in play right now. So I don't feel like it's there yet, because there's still some things that have to be worked through. But I feel like there is, again, it's friendship, it's companionship that's coming out with that Two of Cups. Well, it's one of them, I think, for sure, Devansha, Arjun or Vineet. Because this is somebody you've known for sure. And again, this Two of Pentacles can be juggling between two people too, because it really has sort of a broad kind of spectrum on that. But I would still say that, the choice is yours, because the cards that come out is, the Sun, and that's very, very positive. So it definitely could be, yeah, both, I will say, even though the Sun is coming out here, and this is a really positive, I feel like you're going to get that information here pretty soon, is what I'm going to say. But there's something here about a lot of anxiety or concern around someone that is Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords is usually a younger person, but it definitely is somebody who's very cerebral. Like they're always in their head. They really think quite it. Like they're not. I would say there's going to be something here, but there's a lot of concern around it, and I'm not really sure on one of them, because that Page of Swords does indicate that this is somebody, whoever it is you're dealing with, this is the one you have the concern about. The Page of Swords is the person who comes through as, they may be a little bit quick to speak. But they're a very curious kind of person, can be a very outspoken person, but Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, detached kind of person. And you could be detached from them right now, but they're very clever. This is somebody who's generally in their head a lot. And I don't know who this is, but this is, you always crush your crush younger than you. Right. Oh, well, that's not a bad thing. Thanks. But this one, like I said, whoever this person is, it really causes you a lot of concern. There's one person here in this connection. Oh, maybe it is Arjun then. Okay. Well, this is the person I feel you're really the most worried about. Because this is somebody who's really got a lot going on in their head. They're always, yeah, lots of that makes sense. Thinks a lot, but not a lot of action. But that does make sense because there's just, and I don't know if this is the person that's going through. Maybe this is what they're going through right now, is this Nine of Swords energy, of being completely frazzled, drama filled in their head, going through a lot of suffering, a lot of anxiety, feeling hopeless. So again, if this isn't you, then I would say this is the person. This is the person that we're speaking of here that is going through, feels a lot of pressure. But this one is coming through as an air sign. So I don't know. It doesn't have to be specifically, because I find too, if a person, has attributes toward a certain, characteristic, um, then they'll still be expressing themselves in a particular sign, but doesn't mean they are that sign. But either way, I feel like they're really going through some real. I'm gonna just pull a card on that separate from them. But yeah, it definitely feels like he's feeling really vulnerable, hopeless, lots of anxiety. He's very, very preoccupied by that. I'm going to just pull some more cards just to see if that is Arjun for sure. But a lot of negative emotion that's kind of clouding his judgment right now. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to get my. Okay, sorry, my phone kind of came in there, so it goes dead for a second when it's. All right, so what are Arjun's feelings right now about Devansha, and what is he currently going through? Okay, well, the one that kind of popped out was the Eight of Pentacles. What are Arjun's feelings toward Devansha? He's definitely focused on money. Okay, yeah, he's definitely, there's something there he's going through, sure, because it's coming out with the Ten of Wands. He's almost through it all, though. Like he's in that energy of sort of still figuring things out, very deeply concerned. I would say probably about, he's having to shift something emotionally first before he gets there. But what are his feelings? He wants to, there's even takes, like he wants to be involved. What's the Six of Pentacles? Money's still so much on the mind. What feelings toward Devansha? What are his feelings, Arjun's feelings toward Devansha? Okay, what is the Six of Pentacles? Or Six of Wands? Okay, I feel like he is... The cards in the bottom were Justice and Four of Swords. In retreat mode, holding back, but fairly balanced. Like the thing, I believe he sees you as family. I feel like he really feels like you are a good catch, actually, especially with the Ten of Pentacles, because I feel like he feels established with you in some way. And I feel like, there's a emotional bond. Like there's a lot more than just, there's a friendship there, like I said. And I feel like that relationship is still evolving. I think it is Arjun here, but anyway, I just feel like there is still a lot going on as far as, because the thing is with the Six of Wands energy in there, again, still sixes are, still creating some balance. Maybe I'll ask one more thing. Actually, it kind of came to me. Again, it feels like he needs to work through all of this moon energy, and he's still adjusting with the Five of Wands. He's still making some, you know, it's almost like he doesn't necessarily. I'm going to ask two more things actually in regards to him before I make that comment. But even with the Six of Wands, like I said, there's still something here that speaks to, like, emotionally, he feels like he has to win you. is what I would say. It's almost like he feels he needs to rise in value and win you. It's that kind of energy is what I would say there. I just want to ask one more thing. Is Arjun figuring out his finances? Is there going to be more stable ground for him up ahead? What's happening with Arjun's finances? Because it's almost like he needs to... Okay, will Arjun reconcile with Devansha? Arjun reconcile with Devansha? Sun, and what is the Temperance? Say yes, but there's a bit of a delay there. Why the Three of Cups? Yeah, I still feel like there's still something here with him. It's not over. The Temperance does, though, tell me that in terms of, that connection, you guys actually have a perfect blending, going on there. Like it feels like everything kind of comes together, you know what I mean, fairly well. You kind of adjust to each other, or you can adjust to each other's way of, thinking or communicating, fairly well. It feels like this is really positive. Like I said, the only thing is he, like I said, is still showing that he's got some stuff going on there, because that moon card tells me he's not quite ready. He feels like he needs to win you. And the Seven of Wands, that's another one too, that kind of indicates, even in terms of a relationship, that there's still something there that is more positive, but he's got to persist over, like he's trying to master something first, is what I would say. And he's not in that space yet. It's kind of at, in terms of a relationship, like I said, it can still indicate there's some conflict about what is important to you is maybe not where he's at. But there's just still something here. Okay, let's ask what he really wants from you in a relationship. But yeah, I still feel like even with the Sun card, it just seems like with the Sun card, I still feel like with that Three of Cups, I don't know why, but it still feels like there's still something more about you guys all kind of, getting together in the same space. Because it's happy cards, it's celebration, it's good news. That's what those cards are, together. So I feel like, yeah, I feel like he is going to maybe still kind of get together here again with something's going to come to light around a group setting at a celebration, something like that. That's still coming out here. And I feel like an offer will be made, like a gesture in a positive way here. The only thing that, kind of puts things a little bit on hold is still when I see the Temperance card out here, that is still a factor of waiting. It's also a card that kind of suggests to me that there's a bit of healing going on there. But again, even in terms of the Sun, like I said, I feel like that's going to change. It's a Leo energy there too, if that's relevant for you. But I still feel like romantically, I feel like things are going to lighten up. Yeah, it feels like things are going to lighten up. And I still feel like there's still going to be some kind of connection through a group of people. And even with the Temperance card, like I said, I mean, it is a card of kind of delaying things a little bit, but it's still a really good balance between you guys. And I feel like there'll be a lot more compromise and tolerance, up ahead. Because it's almost like you both understand how to balance the other one out, is what it feels like. Yeah, and that's why I say, like, not much is really changing in regards to that. So I feel like you just kind of have to wait. The only thing let me ask what is in the way. Let me ask what is in the way. What is in the way of Arjun coming toward Devansha? What is in the way? Because he has positive feelings about you. What is in the way? What is the obstacle? What is the obstacle between Arjun and Devansha? Oh, Temperance again. Maybe I should pull a different deck. Right. Yeah, work. Okay, well, we're still getting... Okay, what's the Eight of Pentacles? And Temperance. Yeah, it does feel like... I mean, the obstacle is that he's waiting for something. It's definitely around finances with the Eight of Pentacles, and he's waiting on a new path opening up. He's trying to get clear on it. I'm not saying that there isn't... I see all forward moving cards though. Like, it's not that that isn't happening, because that is. But again, he's almost just... He's not quite in that energy of... He's something he's about to be though. He's about to be, because the clarity is going to be coming through here. And I feel like once he figures out, he'll feel like he's on the path, and then it'll open up. Because right now, he's being delayed. But again, he's approaching the situation in a... He's approaching the situation in a balanced way. And so he's not impulsive. And I feel like it's important for him to heal, to get... to get to this next stage before he actually moves forward. And I feel like that the issue is it's holding things up. He's not a reckless person. I feel like he's very practical in the way that he deals with things, even in terms of romance. But I think his finances are really what's the big focus for sure, because the Eight of Pentacles is showing up here. So I would just say that... I'm going to ask one more thing here. Okay, what will Arjun make a love offer toward Devansha? Will Arjun make a love offer toward Devansha soon? Will Arjun make a love offer toward Devansha soon? Yes. I think it's going to be Arjun. Once he gets this thing settled, he's going to get some kind of clarity on a job situation. And once he jumps into it. He's very close, because there's a bit of a delay with Temperance, but the work thing is right there. And all of it, the information about getting clear on something, taking that leap of faith. And the Page of Cups tells me that that's coming in. That's your next card out, Hierophant. I think he's going to he's going to approach you soon. He just care about this one job thing first. And then we've got the Tower. What is the Tower? Wheel of Fortune, long-term, that's luck in your favor. Something is going to be a complete shakeup. It's going to surprise. Something is going to be a bit of a surprise here. Actually, let me just ask what that Tower is again. Oh, if your birthday's August 17th, then that sounds like that could be it. There's a Tower moment, though. What is the Tower? But the Wheel of Fortune is here, so that's usually a good sign. That's usually a long-term sort of sign here, too. But what is the Tower? Why is the Tower here? Tower, why the Five of Pentacles? The Tower is about the money, and there not being enough of... But I don't know why all the other... He's making an offer. The only problem is it feels like he maybe still doesn't feel like he's enough. That doesn't make any sense. He's waiting on something coming through. I think he's waiting on some job or something. He's already put information out there. Doesn't feel like it's that long off. It must be, well, I would say there's a good chance that it's on your birthday, actually. Because, like I said, I mean, the Tower and the Five of Pentacles does indicate there's a bit of a challenge of some sort that I think he has to go through. And then the information comes through, and like it's like he's stronger. Yeah, I think you're going to be surprised. I think that maybe it is on the birthday that he's through, but it's definitely through some kind of celebration of some sort. He's waiting on information or something through, and once that comes through and it gets clear, he's, he's not feeling like he's good enough or whatever. I mean, there's self-esteem issues there. And then all of a sudden, it's like it just changes. And I think that's when you're going to hear from him. It doesn't feel like it's that far off. Sorry. Let me just ask one more thing here. Is Arjun going to be starting a new job soon? Will he have a job soon? Will Arjun have a job soon? What is he waiting on? Okay, there's balance and happiness. I think he's getting a job or something is coming through really soon for him. What is the Justice card? Because it's making him incredibly happy. What's the Ten of Cups? And cycle success. Yeah, I think I think once he gets the news and then there's some kind of celebration, that's makes some kind of move towards you. So yeah, let me know how that goes, because that's sort of what I'm feeling is kind of what's going on there. But anyway, I got to plug in my phone. It's close to dead here. But keep moving forward. Always love talking to you guys. Oh, he has an exam. Well, there's something positive that's going to come through that's going to be through the roof for him, like I said, and he's successful at it. It turns out in his favor. It turns out in a way. All right, one more question. My phone dies. All right, Como, what is coming in terms of love life? What is coming in terms of love life? I'll have to think on some of that other stuff there, Devansha, but my next read, I will check into that. Como, what is coming in terms of love life? Sorry, cards fell out. Well, I would say, Como, you have a coming in here pretty soon. Water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Definitely something coming in pretty soon because it's a gift from the universe with the Ace of Cups. And it's hard to really give time frames because, as I say, I mean, we're dealing with not just your time, but it's time of the other person, and when things kind of line up. But I would still say that's a yes. And it's pretty soon. You're welcome, Devansha. Like I said, I mean, I might just... yeah, I just feel like, I know it's some kind of basic answer, but I mean, it feels like he's waiting on something, and when that comes through, that's when he makes that gesture towards you. Is Devansha going to be happy in love soon? Is Devansha going to be happy in love soon? Why the Eight of Cups? Why the Eight of Cups? Yeah, I think something's going to turn around for you emotionally, Devansha, pretty soon here. You also have the Ace of Cups, so I would just stay positive on that, because there's something here that, remember you had the Hierophant, although that one, or the High Priestess, that one was sort of an unknown element. You're going to have to follow your intuition a little bit on this, but I think he's going to come forward with an offer or a gesture towards you that is going to kind of restart something. Is Arjun going to be around on her birthday? Yeah, I did it again. And I mean, it looks like, again, he's moving forward. There's still movement. So I still think there's hope in that situation. Anyway, gotta go. It's late and my phone is almost dead. So keep moving forward, guys, and never give up. See you in the next read.